Math Module 2, Lesson 25. I can divide decimal dividends by two-digit divisors, reasoning about the placement of the decimal point. Make sure everything I do in the video, you're doing in your workbook on your notes. If you need to rewind and rewatch because you're confused, please do so. If you forgot to take some notes, rewind. Good luck. 39 and 1/10 divided by 17. So the first thing we're going to do is make our toolbox. And then we're actually going to write so it looks like long division. So the first thing I need to think about is 3 divided by 17. 3 is too small, 17 is too big, so I need to put an X. So now I need to think 39 divided by 17. So how many 17s? So let's go to our toolbox. So I'm going to think 17 is close to 20. So I need 2 20s to get close to 39, which would be 40. So let's try 2 17s. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 10. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, 34. 34 is close to 39 without going over. So I'm going to put a 2 above the 9. 2 times 17, I already know is 34 because of my toolbox. Now I subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. 3 minus 3 is 0. I'm going to bring down the 1. So now I have 51. So I need to think 51 divided by 17. So how many 17s will make up 51 without going over? So let's try 17 times 3. And yes, that's a 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 2 is 5. Ooh, right on. So 51 divided by 17 is 3. So that 3 is going to go above the 1 that I just brought down. I'm going to add the decimal point so I don't forget. 3 times 17 is 51. And then I subtract, and it's 0. So 2 and 3/10 is my quotient. So now we're going to check our work just like we normally would. So I'm going to start with 2 and 3/10 times 17. So I'm going to go to my toolbox. 2 and 3/10 times 17. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 2 is 14. 16, 0, because I'm done with the ones. I'm starting in the tens. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 2 is 2, and now I add 1, 9, 3. Decimal place only has 1 digit after it, so there's my decimal. All right, equals 3, 9, so 39 and 1/10. Does that match my original dividend? You betcha. So my answer of 2 and 3/10 is absolutely correct. Make sure you showed all of this work. So our next quotient is 6 and 36/100 divided by 73. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my toolbox. And then I'm going to rewrite so I can do my long division. So I need to think 6 divided by 73. Well, 6 is too small and 73 is too big, so I need to put an X. All right, I'm going to add my decimal now so I don't forget it. So now I need to think of it as 63. Can I do 63 divided by 73? Well, 63 is still too small and 73 is still too big. So instead of an X, I'm going to put a 0 because it's after the decimal point. All right, so 0 times 73 is 0, subtract, it's 3 and 6. Don't bring down the decimal. So now I just subtracted, so now I need to bring down. So now I have 636. So how many 73s? Well, 70 times 9 is 63. or 7 times 9 is 63. So 73 times 9, I'm thinking it's going to be close to something in the 600s. So let's do 73 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27, carry the 2. 9 times 7 is 63, oops, 65. Oh, that's too big. Okay, 657 is too big for 636, so it's going to be hopefully 73 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24, carry the 2. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 2 is 58. So 584 is definitely less than 636. So 636 divided by 73 must be 8 based on my toolbox. 8 times 73 is 584. Subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. Can't do 3 minus 8, so I've got to borrow. So the 6 becomes a 5, and the 3 is a 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. That's a 0. So here's the thing. In this example, we're not going to keep solving because it'll never be an even decimal. So my remainder isn't 52, it's 52 hundredths, because now my decimal can be brought down. So my remainder is 0 and 52 hundredths. So now let's check, just like we would normally. So we have 0 and 8 hundredths times 73. Well, I have to show that work on the side because I'm not that talented. I don't know that in my head. So 0, 8 hundredths times 73. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2. 3 times 0 is 0. Now I'm done with the ones place, so I'm going to put a 0. I'm starting in the tens. 7 times 8 is 56. Carry the 5. That is a 5. 7 times 0 is 0 plus 5. 7 times 0 is 0. Now I add it. 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. 5 plus nothing is 5. So now I have to look. How many digits are after my decimal? It's 2. So I can only have 2 digits after. So right now my answer is 5 and 84 hundredths. I just ran out of space like always. So now I'm going to start with what I left off with, which is 5 and 84 hundredths. I'm going to add my remainder, 0 and 52 hundredths. All right. I know this shocks everybody. I ran out of space, so I'm going to use some empty space over to my left. So I have 5 and 84 hundredths plus 0 and 52 hundredths. Notice I lined up my decimals. 4 plus 2 is 6. 8 plus 5 is 13. Carry the 10. 5 plus 1 is 6. And I break down my decimal. So equals 6 and 36 hundredths. Let's see. Does that match my original dividend? You betcha. So my quotient of 0 and 8 hundredths is correct, with a remainder of 52 hundredths. Make sure you showed all your